Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Final Fantasy XIV reaction. Today we have Titania's song, which is hilarious because it was requested by executive producer Titania. That's just funny to me. It's just coincidentally, it just works out and it makes me laugh. Either way, though, this is What Angel Wakes Me, and I guess I have to hear what this song has in store. It's been a while since I've heard a song from Final Fantasy XIV, but I don't know who this character is. I don't know what their relation to the story is. That's usually the case, but I don't think this character has anything to do with the existing stuff I've gotten to before, like those event songs that I've heard. So this might be something completely different, but I guess without further ado, I need to figure that out. Let's go! Oh, unless it is. No, this looks different. Wait, maybe? This doesn't look like the same sort of event space I've seen in other videos. This is probably just like a boss. You know, just like a more standard in-game boss. Oh! This is weird. But I kind of vibe with it. It's like a more jazzy version of Millie, which I just did a video on right before this one. And like, despite that comparison, it's definitely an original sound. It's not like they're trying to be something else. I really like the instrumental on this one. There's not too much going on with it. It's kind of a very progressive chorus. Like those. Do-do-do-do. And like, layers-wise, there's not too many things happening. There's moments like this one where it's a little bit more full with accents, but when you get to this part of the song, there's a lot less happening, which is nice because you feel that breath in the song as well. Bassline is super heavy in here, actually. I'm starting to like listen to different layers. It's really nice to hear that bass so prominent. It's like, it's not just sticking with like the standard bass line, it's moving around a lot. Again, very kind of like jazzy in that respect. A little bit more fun, more scales. And I'm hearing like a slap bass in there too. A little bit of funky, put some stank on it. A controlled stank. syllabic accentuation is really neat too. Just because it's sharp. Like whenever she means to hit a syllable hard, she does. It's very sharp. I think some of that is the compression in the vocals too. Just kind of adds a little bit more energy to those consonants. I feel like the voice being like kind of weak and not super, like, I don't want to say not technically impressive or accurate, because it is, but like the choice to leave in the takes where like her voice gets caught is neat. Kind of adds a different level to that character in the song. Her voice is already fairly soft, but I like the decision to not make her sing like super aggressively to be able to overpower that soft tone. They're leaning into it. See, like those, like the butterfly, like really. Oh man. The strings are a weird choice too. Not like they shouldn't be there, but like where they exist in the song. You have these like staccato plucks, but then like these, they're a little bit more traditional, like long notes. They're all just flowing into each other. See, like here, I'm getting like a counter melody with the strings. It's almost a little bit dissonant to the main melody. Like certain details aren't quite lining up. I mean, there's got to be a reason for that. I think I've heard this song 3 or 4 times now, all the way through. Which I do always say is kind of nice, because it really does allow me to sit with the song and hear different parts of it. So I'm never mad about that. I think it's just might be the longest one, like the most repeats before the video is over. The other downside to that, even though you probably might not call it a downside, to hearing the song over and over and over again and being able to speak my mind about it the whole time, is that I now don't really have much else to say. I think I went through all of the details I was going to mention just because I reached a new refrain and I was like, okay, well, I guess I can start leaking more details and more thoughts about the song as it went. And then there was another one and another one and another one. And DJ Khaled came in the door and he was like, another one. So like there's so many repeats on this upload that I was able to get through everything. So there's really not much else for me to say. I will say as an overall thought, this one is definitely different from the other ones I've heard. The other ones are usually a little bit more upbeat and party-esque, or at least have kind of more of like a rocker vibe to them. This one didn't have that. It was a lot more of like a Pixie Dream Girl pop sort of feel to it, and it was really nice. And like I said, did kind of remind me of the way that Millie sounds, and that's probably partially because I did just do a video on them, a recording for one right before this one. But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean that the song was that same sound. They're definitely completely different approaches to music, but the vocals especially had a similar quality to them, with that the softness to it and the sharpness in the syllables. And that is something that I do want to say again. This song seemed to have the vocalist focus so much on those syllabic accents. Every single time they had to say it, like butterfly and like the lullaby, like it just really leaned into those moments, kind of leaning right into those consonants and making sure that they were super accented. And I'm not sure if that's just because that's the way that they wrote the song and they wanted that to be there, or if there was some other reason that they had so much accent on certain parts of the phrase. There really could be any number of answers to that question, but I think in general it just kind of fits the flow of the song, this like jazzy energy it had. You want to make sure that you're making the vocals a part of the song to the point of making it feel like it's its own instrument, because the voice is an instrument, and I feel like a lot of people tend to forget that and they just hear it as, oh, it's a voice, and that's really it. And I feel like a lot of vocal parts end up falling down that path of not utilizing the vocal part as part of the song. Instead, they just like, when we need to tell a story, let's slap it up there, and it might sound great, but it doesn't necessarily add anything to the overall composition. But songs like this, and that might be another reason it sounds like Millie, because they do that too. They are really, really, really particular about getting their story through while also making Cassie Way's voice in Millie that much more a part of the entire experience. It's not just a separate thing thrown on top all willy-nilly. So that might be another reason why, but the instrumental of this one was fun. It was focused. Every single part of the song had its time to shine. The drums had like little variants in there with the percussive stuff. They had another layer of tambourine in there at times, and just kind of adding a little bit more texture in with the song when the song needed some more support there. The vocals, again, just handling their own thing. These strings were being utilized in interesting ways. I mentioned the whole counter melody thing being used, and that's always neat to hear. But then it also had these like little staccato plucks and stuff that were like kind of bouncing with the vocal line when they needed to. It was working with that. The bass line super clean. I loved how they handled the bass in this song. The bass does not get enough time to shine, and this song made sure that the bass line was pretty well supported in the overall mix. And like I said, there were definitely parts in here where you could hear like the slap bass technique being used, and even parts where you could just hear him plucking a string, like pulling it out instead of just, running his finger on it the standard way. So there was technique audible for the bass, which is just not common enough, and I'm glad that they put it here, especially with the rest of the song kind of supporting that. It wasn't too busy, like I said early on. It's just everything had its moment. It was all very well balanced. Most of these songs tend to have that quality to them, but I really like the energy this one brought. It was kind of strangely pristine in a lot of ways. It was serene is probably a better word. It was just calming, but also there was so much detail in it without needing too much going on, like you didn't have to keep adding layers and be like, oh, there's more detail, listen to the 50 layers I've got. They made a lot of sound and a lot of beauty with very little, and that's really the goal of this song, I think, and they definitely achieved that. So I guess that's about all I gotta say on this one. I kind of yapped longer than I thought I would about that at the end, but either way, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have something else from Final Fantasy XIV you want me to get to, by all means drop in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you want to guarantee guarantee something, much like Titania did for this one, you can always go to my Patreon or my YouTube memberships. There's a tier that will force me to listen to whatever you want. It doesn't matter what it's from, who it's by, if it's good or bad, none of that matters. That's why it's a guarantee. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe you just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!